All right, so welcome to the show. We got two special guests with us today. Got Craig with Wicked Threads back with us again.
Good to be back.
Craig, how's it going, man?
Good.
Business good?
Picking up.
Yep. I been to the shop, been out to your house to shoot recently.
Yep.
I still suck, and you're still a lot better than me.
Even stuck that bow hanger on the ground for you. You kept forgetting to use it.
We'll talk about that in a second. And then we got Brady. Brady, what's going on, man?
Nothing much. Doing good.
So, wait, how do you got to refresh my memory. How do you guys know each other again?
So, funny story. When I worked at Extreme Archery, these guys actually pulled in the parking lot before we opened one day. And the owner told me, he's like, hey, these guys are coming in. They always come to see me. I'm the only one that works on their bows. I'm like, all right. So one day they came in. The owner wasn't there. We had no clue he would be there. I worked on their bows. And since that, I believe I've been the only one that worked on their bows since that.
Yeah, pretty much.
It's like a mechanic, man. You find a guy, you got a guy. You're like, I'm not going anywhere else.
Yep.
It's a good song. It's a good song.
Yep.
He doesn't hear the music, so he's like, what is he doing? Oh, man. So, yeah, I went over to Craig's house to shoot because I wanted to look at my form because I keep having this bad spin. And mostly because I don't know what the hell I'm doing. And he got out this, like, what was it? A hanger, basically.
The bow tree.
Yeah.
That blue
I thought it was
tree.
a gardening tool.
Yeah.
That he was using as a bow hanger, and I'm like, what is that? He's like, no, it's actually what it's made for. And I kept forgetting to stick my bow back into it relentlessly, over and over and over again. I was be like, oh yeah, he'd be like, you can hang it. I was like,
I actually had to start hanging my bow on it so he would start using it.
yeah, it was. I was like, oh yeah, that's what that's for. Yeah, but yeah, I'm anxious. I still haven't shot it since you did some of those minor adjustments to it, but I'm blown away by how much harder my bow is to pull back than yours.
Yep.
I mean, that's ridiculous.
It's the cams.
Yeah.
Yep.
I would have never thought. And it's not like our poundage is way off.
Right.
I'm at 70 or 60.
65 is the one I had you pull.
Oh, really?
Yeah. Yep.
And it's crazy, dude. I got a bear. What do you pull back?
Pull back 70 for hunting, 60 for most tournaments.
Thanks for making me feel like a bitch. Jeez. He's like, yeah, I pull 70 all day. Then I'll let you pull mine on the way back. And I just got a bear, and it's not.
Oh, you guys see how hard this thing is.
Dude, it is
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's not like them Evolve cams and them
No.
PSE.
No.
Oh, I pulled the 65-pounder back at his house. I was like, what? It's like a yo-yo. Meanwhile, I got a bear, and I'm like,
I was struggling to get that bow back, too.
yeah, it's like shooting a bow from the 80s, with the little tiny wheel cams.
Yep.
It's like, whew, whew. How old are you, man?
16.
Did I just ask you that?
I don't think.
I forget stuff real quick,
Mhm.
obviously with the name thing, but I'll be like, did I ask that question already? So you say you go to Bermudian Springs, right?
Yep.
Is that how do you know Rodney's boys? Do they still go there?
No, they're a lot older now. They're
Are
probably
they?
in their 30s almost.
Really? That old?
20s. They're 20s.
Okay.
They're not 30s, but
I thought they were like the one still looked young. I don't know how many boys he's got, but
it's 2, I think.
2? Okay. You don't know the guys that I yelled at when we were hunting on Saturday, did you? I was like,
I have to admit, I was sitting in the blind laughing the entire time.
so we go hunting, right? And did he already tell you the story?
I don't think I did.
So we go hunting, and we're going up to Michaud. And there's this clearing spot that used to, back in the day, that spot was like, nobody knew about it. And then mountain bikers put this trail right through it, you know what I mean? And next thing you know, more and more people start showing up back there. So, like, that used to be like the prime turkey hunt spot because they'd roost right up on this ridge. It was low down off the ridge, It was like a ridge and then slope down to another ridge and then it would slope way down. So they'd stick on that second ridge, and I took Craig in there in this little clearing. We went back in clearing just in case some people I used to sit on the clearing and they'd always come right out into the clearing. They don't do that anymore. If they do, I don't ever see it. Put it that way. And we were sitting there maybe an hour.
Maybe a half hour, 45 minutes we were there.
Yeah, because the sun.
It was probably
dark.
about an hour because it was dark when we set up.
Yeah,
yeah.
It was dark when we set up. We were definitely in there by 6,
Mm-hmm.
and they came in around like 7. and I heard a hunter call, and it sounded like pretty bad, and I thought it was coming from the hill. And Craig's like, no, that was from behind us. It's like I turn around. He's like, yeah, there's guys back here. And I look, and they're just like standing there in the field. So like I get down beside Craig, and I just start calling. And we're both looking out the window and see them look like there's no, come on.
They looked right at us.
They looked right at us, man.
Yeah.
Right? Like they looked right at us. And
that blind sticks out like a sore thumb. You can't tell me they didn't see
right.
it.
It's like a blind from the 80s. You know, it's like a like crappy 80s camo look kind of thing. It was like, okay, and it's faded. I'm like, they saw it. You know what I mean? And Craig's got his decoy sitting right out there too. So it's like, okay, if you didn't see either of those, you probably shouldn't be hunting. But yeah, we're sitting there, and I start calling.
Mm-hmm.
And I called like 2 or 3 times, and they just like, they'd look over, and they just kind of like go back to what they were doing. And then they stick the decoy out, and I was like, I didn't see him stick the decoys out. And then I see, like, I was like, all right, I think they're walking away. No, he goes over to the tree and hangs his stuff up, and he just like sits down, and he's like, we're going to chill here and hunt. And I was like, all right, I put the gun down. I was like, I'll be back. I was kind of mean. And then I came back, and then they left. And then I felt kind of bad about it because, like, maybe they didn't actually see us. But
I still thought it was funny.
yeah.
I mean, not that they did that, but
No,
you yelled
no.
at them, I thought it was funny.
Yeah, I was like, normally I wouldn't do that, but I was like, I was so amped that we were going to hear something that day.
Yep.
I was like super confident. I'm like, all right, I haven't been back here.
That first time they called, I got excited for a second,
Yeah.
but then like you, quickly I realized that wasn't a turkey.
That wasn't a turkey. That wasn't a turkey. And then we kept sitting here, and like something was like brushing weird. It's kind of sounded like metal on metal. It was like, "Arr," and I'm like, we'd be like, was it? I was like, no, that wasn't nothing. But you know what I mean. You start tricking yourself when you've been in the woods long enough. You're like, is that antlers? That antlers?
Yep.
No, oh, it's a tree. Is that antlers? That's antlers. You
Damn
get the binoculars.
squirrels.
Yeah, right. You never. A squirrel can sound like a lion going through the woods. It's like, you're like, oh, it's a 10-point. Look down. Oh, it's a squirrel. Shit. But do you ever notice that? You ever think like, I always think turkey, especially if it's a flock, it kind of sounds like rustling, it like wind blowing.
Oh yeah, they can be really noisy.
Right. You always think they're like so quiet. And what's crazy is too is, I don't know your setup. How do you usually have your turkey set up? Is you just sit in a blind? You just sit on a tree? You hunt a field against a tree?
Or a blind, whatever we got there.
Do you do like in the middle of the woods though, or you hunt like a field edge?
We hunt field edge and woods. It's just, we have cameras out, and whatever we get them on camera, maybe that might change where we set up.
So do you usually wind up calling turkeys in for other people then?
Yeah, I called one in for my brother this year.
Oh, okay.
How'd that end?
He missed
He
it.
missed it.
So that's what you're saying when you guys got here. That's what he missed.
Mhm.
Your
Yep.
brother missed that.
Yeah. It's a nice turkey too.
Well, Craig, at least you didn't miss it. You know what I mean?
Correct. Yes.
Because if you missed it, then I'd be like, all right, Craig, you're done. Never again.
Yep.
Did it have anything with it?
No, it's just all by itself.
All by itself.
We actually got it on camera the evening before.
Yeah, you have to send me a picture of that if you can.
Yeah.
I'll throw it
I
in
can
here.
send that.
Was that a field?
No, that was in the woods since we got him on camera in front of the
Oh,
blind.
that's the lease in Gettysburg.
Yeah.
How big's the lease, you guys?
102 acres, I think.
That's a good size to have it.
Mm-hmm.
Is it like on a mountain, on the side of a mountain, or?
It's all flat and goes down into a creek bottom.
Okay. Do they go into the creek bottom a lot? Where do you try to
they'll
go
travel.
after them?
It just depends. The whole thing is pretty much a thicket,
Okay.
and you got to really hunt the outskirts.
Yeah.
So we kind of get the pinch points. We set stands on the pinch points
Okay.
where they travel from one thicket to the next thicket, and that's how.
And then you
we
post up and you're ready.
Yeah, that's how we normally get them in there.
Do you know, like, what's your strategy? Do you like have a sequence that you go through? I used to have a sequence and I kind of got away from it. And I'm like, I'm always second guessing myself. Like, maybe I should go back to it. Maybe I shouldn't. You know what I mean? It's like,
Normally, I'll sit in one stand. If I see the deer there for days straight, I'll just keep on sitting there. I won't
you won't
really
move.
move. Yeah. But if I'm not seeing much, I might try a different stand.
But what about like turkeys and turkey calling? You know what I mean?
We mostly just try to set up in the same spot because we know they're there.
You know they're there. So you just
It's
like,
just
your old
a matter
faithful.
of time till they come.
Yeah. See, that's
to
the
the decoys.
frustrating thing is I always like think like, all right, I got to move. And then I move and I'm like, I should have been where I was.
Yeah.
And then I move, and I'm like, now I don't know where to go. But yeah, to that point. But so like sequence calling though, like do you start out like with different calls in the morning as they come in? Because like in thickets like that, what I experienced a lot myself is turkeys like to shut down the closer they get to you. Like
Yeah.
you think they're there, and then you think they just disappeared because they shut down. And it's those. I always feel it's like those last 100 yards. You know what I mean? Is where a lot of hunters screw up because they'll start kind of panicking that the bird left.
Yeah, they'll be coming.
Yeah, they'll be coming.
They're-
Exactly.
They'll either see your decoy and they just won't call no more. And they'll just come walking in real slow.
But do you do any? What kind of call are you using? You in slate?
I normally
Mouth?
use mouth call when I called my brothers, and this year I just yelped.
Yeah,
That's
just
all
yelp.
it took for him to come in there.
Yeah. Sometimes it's like that, and sometimes it's like rough, isn't it?
Yeah, sometimes you got to give it a good cluck too.
Good cluck. Good cluck. Yeah.
Maybe
That's
a
about the
purr.
only thing I can do so far.
You know what, man?
And even that's not that good.
You're working on it though. I'll give you that. I'll quiz you next time we're out too, so you better practice.
I better study up.
Yeah, I'm not the best caller.
Uh,
Still learning yet.
anybody's better than my dad. That's all I can tell you. I spent hours with my dad being like, dude, you just got to do this, and it just comes out like a song. And he's like, talk, talk, talk. I'm like, nope, nope, we're not calling any birds in like that. Nope, don't do that.
Yeah.
Keep it in the pocket. Put it back.
Yeah, I'm still working on the mouth call. I still can't cackle. I gag every time I try it. Choke on the call.
It's something you got. Dude, that CD will help you.
Yeah,
Like I said,
yeah.
some things is like the hit for me was like doing YouTube channel, and that guy I told you, Scott Elliott. He was a big help for me, just with the way he explained it versus that CD.
Right.
And then once I finally started getting, the first thing you got to get is that like sound.
Yeah.
Once you find that sweet spot on the call, the rest will slowly start to fall into place.
Well, the one thing that definitely helped is getting those Woodhaven calls.
Yeah, and that makes a big difference too.
Yeah.
What kind of calls do you use?
I have. It's a signal. It's a turkey ops call. I actually won it on a giveaway on Instagram,
Oh, okay.
and I'm using that this year. I like it.
Really?
I think they're called turkey ops.
Turkey ops.
Signal 11 Lures makes them.
I've heard of
Yeah, I
Signal
just-
11 lures.
Yeah, I just was trying it out this year.
Huh.
And spur crusher calls.
I've heard of Spur Crusher.
Yeah, I like their calls too.
Mouth calls.
Yeah, mouth calls.
See, I'm real picky about them because, like, sometimes, I mean, and I know everybody has a different sound that they like to hear, but, like, I know exactly how I want, like, my yelp to sound and all that stuff. So, like, if a call's off, like, I know it's off, and I'm like, it sounds like crap. You know, it's just, like,
Yeah.
doesn't get the sound I'm looking for. So, like, Woodhaven's just been the knockout for me. And I always try new calls, and I find some like True Tone calls. If you ever go to the Sportsman Show, True Tone has a
Yeah.
booth in there. They have good calls. Check those guys out. And then there's another company, Woodhaven, not Woodhaven, excuse me, Game Hollow calls, another like small mom and pop thing, and they got some pretty good calls. I actually really want to start making my own and get the press and all that stuff to make them, but that's just one more thing I don't have time for. So I was like, I got this hobby, and then besides that, it's like the only hobby in hunting I'm allowed to have. Wait till you get married. So, how long have you been with PSE? Because obviously this started at
So I've only been with them a little over a year, and actually it was these guys that got me with them.
got you with them PSE, and what was your go to before PSE?
So before I switched to PSE, I was shooting Obsession.
Obsession. That's
Yep.
right. You did tell me that.
Yep.
And was that your diehard before that?
I loved Obsession. I never had an issue with their bows. And actually, so I have to admit, for a little while there, I was one of those flip floppers. Actually, the way I got with Obsession is I was shooting Matthews when I first started shooting IBO. And I was at a shoot, had a limb crack, and I was working at the shop at the time. We were a Matthews dealer. I emailed him. Actually, no, I called our rep, said, hey, look, this is the deal. I need a limb here. I had actually just signed a contract at that time with a stabilizer company.
Right.
Because I was just getting into the competitive side, and I was like, I got to be I can't not shoot because I just signed with these guys. And 3 weeks later, I still didn't have a limb from Matthews. And I was walking by, we had a used Obsession on the wall, Phoenix XL. And I told the owner, I said, hey, I'm going to take that off, set it up for this weekend and shoot it. because I need to do something.
Yeah, you gotta have some
So I set it up, went out and shot my best score at that time that I'd ever shot.
with
Like-
the PSE
No, with
with the obsession. Okay,
Like I said, that was at the time the best score shot.
gotcha.
So I came back in the next day. I said, "Hey, I'm buying this bow," and I bought it. And then I just lined up my obsessions that I was shooting for different things. And then last year I was at the outdoor show. Not this past year, but 2 years ago I was at, 2019. I'm sorry. I was at the outdoor show. These guys introduced me to the rep, and they let me shoot one of the PSEs, and that was all she wrote.
It was his game
I
changer.
went home, posted all my obsessions online for sale, and started buying
That was the end of
PSEs.
it. So PSE for you has been PSE all the way, I guess, right?
I've been shooting PSE bows since I've been 8 years old and never anything else. I tried other
Jeez.
bows, but
Never hit.
No, nothing compares to them.
So did Dad
to
get
me.
you into PSE?
My uncle actually, they have always shot PSE, and that's how I started shooting PSE.
Okay. So you're on the PSE team then?
Yep, pro
And-
staff.
Is this how you got lured into doing this stuff too?
Yeah, so he's actually pro staff for them. I'm just field staff for him.
Oh, okay.
Yep.
Let's talk about that for a second because that means nothing to me. I mean, obviously, pro and field. I mean, I can make some kind of assumption, but like, what's the actual difference? Like, what do you get paid? Do you not get paid? Do you get more of a discount? Do you get less of a discount? Like, what walk me to that, guys? Because that doesn't.
You've gone through it all. You can
I
explain.
get a little bit more of a discount, but it just means pro staff. They really expect you to represent PSE more than a field staff.
Okay. So if they
people
see
look-
you in public, you better have a PSE T-shirt
Yeah,
on, a PSE hat.
Pro
and then the
staff
thing-
is like one up from field staff. So if someone sees you pro staff instead of field staff, it kind of, I don't know, just sticks out to them more
So like
in archery.
for you to get bumped up to pro staff, is there something special you have to do, or they just have to like?
Yeah, I need to become a better archer.
I'm sorry, Craig.
So no, like he was saying, more is expected of the pro staff. Field staff, I'm just expected to help out at events, help promote, get the name out there, and stuff like that.
Okay,
Yeah,
I
but
got you.
We're both supposed to promote.
Right.
It's just, that's kind of tough to
Just a
explain.
little more expected out of the pro
Yeah,
staff.
Yeah, just a little
more
different
expected.
level.
Little more dedication expected out of it.
Yeah.
I got you. Okay.
Now he probably won't tell you because he's too, I don't want to say shy, but too humble, I should say. But I believe he's the youngest person ever signed to PSE pro staff. Are you not?
I'm not sure, really. I actually don't know.
Well, how long you been with PSE as a pro staff?
This is my first year at pro staff. Last year, I was field staff.
So how long were you field staff?
Just for a year.
Just for a year. Man, making gains quick.
Well, when you shoot like this kid does. I mean,
How
it's easy.
often do you shoot?
Well, right now, since there's like no tournaments, I've been slacking a little, but normally about 5 to 6 days a week.
And you play any sports in school?
No.
Nothing.
No.
Archery is his
Archery's
sport.
your sport?
Archery, yeah.
Yeah.
So you.
I used to play baseball, but I kind of quit that.
Yeah, I did the same thing. So you're 16. Does that make you a senior? No, you're no.
No,
Wow, I'm way off. You got to be a
Sophomore right now.
Sophomore right now.
be a junior next year.
That's
Next
nuts.
school year.
I actually can remember my sophomore year. Yeah. Blows my mind. So yeah, you started as a field and you're pro. You're shooting 5-6 days a week, you say?
Yep.
How long?
Anywhere from 60 to 90 normally.
Arrows?
Arrows, yeah.
You got to have a strong back.
Yeah, you get used to it. Muscle memory over time.
Oh yeah, absolutely. So where do you usually shoot? Just out back, or you go somewhere?
I'll shoot in my backyard in York and Adams fishing game. I shoot there pretty often, especially in the indoor season.
Okay. I've
It's
never
in
been.
Abbottstown,
Oh,
Pennsylvania.
yeah, I know where Abbottstown in the that jazz is. I don't know where the shop is. Though.
They're tucked back in.
Yeah.
They're what name is it? What's the name of that road? Country Club
Country
Road.
Club Road. Okay.
Yeah, if you go into the square of Abbottstown,
Uh-huh.
go around and make a left like you're heading towards York.
Yep.
When you get down towards the bottom of the hill, there's that little tiny road that shoots off the right.
Yep.
Yeah, follow that the whole way back.
Okay. Yeah, I know exactly where that is.
Yeah, they're tucked back there in the woods.
I'm trying to think. Do they got an indoor range?
Oh, they got everything.
Yeah, they
over
got
there.
indoor pistol, indoor archery. They have an outdoor archery course, rifle range, shot, trap and skeet.
Huh.
It's a big club.
Fishing pond.
Yeah, pond too.
Man, how have I never heard of that?
Yeah, it's a nice place. I really enjoy going over there.
What's it called again? I'll write that down.
York and Adams fishing game.
York and Adams Fishing Game. I always go to like Starview when I lived in York. I mean, I still technically live in York County, but and then there was another one off of the Strinestown exit. I can't remember what that was.
Oh, I know what you're talking about because I've shot there before.
Yeah. That was the only place I really ever went to. Fish and game. Dillsburg Fish and Game's not bad. I like the indoor archery there.
Yeah, I shoot there sometimes too, at Dillsburg.
Yeah. So we were actually just talking the other day about working on getting targets in that outside, that new court, that new range outside.
Right.
We were just talking the other day about getting some target butts out there.
Just to like a 3D shoot or just like the actual.
Well, they do have 3D shoots there occasionally.
Do they?
Yeah. But I'm talking the outdoor range where you have targets from 20 to 80 yards. Right now, there's no butts in those backstops, but we were just talking the other day about getting some in there.
Okay. Yeah, I went. Well, I think last time I was up there was when you and I went up to go shoot and check out your shotgun. Place was packed that day, man.
Yeah, I couldn't believe it. That's unusual for up there.
The reason I got that membership when I moved out here was because like nobody was there.
Yep.
It was like a gem. You could go there like the week of rifle and there'd be like maybe one
Well,
other guy.
I didn't realize at the time, but the reason there were so many people there that day is because the one over here in Old York Road is closed.
Oh yeah.
And I didn't realize that day.
Yeah, I did know that it was closed, but
Yeah.
I just assumed that nobody had memberships at
Right.
ours because
Yeah, they
if they
probably went
did, why would they go out there anyway? But
Yeah.
you know, maybe they just showed up and didn't have one.
Well, they can't anymore because the gate's locked now. They have to have the code to get back there.
True.
So people probably went out and bought memberships real quick so they could get back there and shoot.
True. Oh, that's what I did. I always forget about it, and then my wife usually gets it for me. Excuse me, for Christmas. And then I guess what they stopped selling at Ace, right?
Yeah, Ace isn't carrying them now. Now you can do them online or at Bowhunter Superstore.
Yeah, so I just want to get them online.
And also the trading post in Franklintown, he has them too.
Okay, I gotta go check that guy's out.
Yep.
So you're shooting that many. So if that's an off, what's an on? Like you said, 60 to 90.
Yeah, that's normally what I.
That's normally what you do.
Yeah, normally.
Oh, okay. So like, what's slacking?
I don't know, about 4 days a week, maybe about
60?
45, 60.
45, 60. Man, I shoot like 24, and I'm like, I'm good.
Yeah.
Well, I was over at his house, and I shot maybe 12.
Yeah.
And I was like, all right.
Well, what did I do that day? I shot, I think, 3. And
Yeah, you shot
I'm
3.
good.
He's like, I shot. So now when he's the pro and you're the kid.
That's why, yeah. No, that day we were shooting. I was more concerned with watching you. The only reason I wanted to shoot my bow a couple times was to make sure it was on because I was going to a shoot the next day.
Yeah.
And I just changed stuff on it, so.
So let's talk about these different shoots, guys, because I'm trying to talk about like this PSSA. I saw what that was. And then NFAA, IBO. I mean, I've heard you say all these terms, acronyms, I should say. But Penn State Archery Association? Is that PSS?
Pennsylvania State Archery.
Why did I say Penn State? Okay. Used to seeing that. What's NFAA?
National Field Archery Association.
I should have been able to figure that out. What's IBO?
Stands for International Bow Hunting Organization.
So what's the difference between all three? Like, do they all have different shoots? Is it like different levels? Obviously, one's national. So is that what you do nationwide, right?
Yeah,
Makes sense.
yeah.
Do they all have like different shoots?
Yeah, they're all separate. Like, they'll have different tournaments.
Oh, okay. So you're not going to
They're
go to
different.
one. It'll be like sponsored by both.
Yeah.
Okay.
You won't. Yeah, you won't. You go to IBO will have tournaments, and then the NFA will have their own tournaments.
Well, and another thing is, too, IBO is strictly 3D.
Yeah.
NFAA, if I'm not mistaken, is strictly field archery, correct?
Field archery, indoor archery.
Yeah.
And this is field archery indoor.
Yeah.
What's the difference between field and 3Ds? Field just outside,
Yeah, you just
and you're shooting at those.
black and white targets.
Right.
Yeah.
Field and hunter targets. You go through the woods there.
Oh, okay.
They'll have a 28 target course through the woods.
But it's actually just a round target, not like a.
Yeah, it's a round target.
Right. Okay. So it's not like a 3D.
Not a 3D animal. They do have paper animal. It's field and hunter and animal.
Oh, okay.
It'll all be in one weekend, and that's the national tournament every year.
Gotcha.
Actually, every 3 years, it's in Mechanicsburg, Pennsylvania.
Really?
Yeah.
Yep.
Where at?
At the Mechanicsburg Archers.
Oh, okay. So when you do that in that one weekend, is it like you do one day you do the field, and then one day you do the hunter, and
Yeah.
then one day you do the other?
So it's
Animal.
5 days, and 2 days you do the field, 2 days you do the hunter, and then one day you do the animal. So now for the field, you can take your best score, and for the hunter, you can take your best score of either of the days.
Okay, I got you.
And then the animal is just one day.
So that's when you're talking about. Is it the same? We got in this last time with arrows. With what he's talking about, would he be switching up arrows?
So with field and hunter round and animal round, you're going to typically use the same arrows, the skinny ones,
The skinny ones.
because you're shooting multiple arrows into the targets.
So really, it's just that indoors when you're using those
Indoors when you're using the fat arrows. Yeah.
fat arrows, and we're going to bust lines up.
Mhm.
Yeah, if you use them fat arrows outside, the wind will really catch them. And
Well,
it's
not
gonna
just
throw you
that.
all over.
Well, not just that. I mean, you might get one of them in the ring.
Yeah, they're gonna.
Yeah.
if you're
you'll get-
lucky.
Yeah, they'll get busted up too pretty quick.
Yeah.
Bust it up pretty quick.
Oh yeah.
So when you do this, like, obviously there's like national level and there's a state level. So like, I see here on Vegas and stuff like that. How does that work? Because there's got to be. I'm assuming there's different little PSE clicks all over the nation, right? So like, do you qualify then to get to the next level? And you know what I mean? Like when you go to a competition, is it all PSE guys shooting against PSE guys, or is it just like whoever's in the mix? Because obviously PSE's got to have a team, right?
It's everybody shooting
It's-
against everybody.
Yeah,
Okay,
it's
so
just-
you're even shooting against guys your own
Correct.
team.
Yeah, yeah.
Okay,
Yeah, you just sign up and go. Anyone can shoot in Vegas.
Now,
I
as
gotcha.
far as staff for PSE, we are broken up into regions. Now it just changed. We're still Mid Atlantic, correct?
Yeah, we're Mid Atlantic.
Mid-
Yeah, we're
Mid-Atlantic.
Mid Atlantic region here.
how many people are on the Mid Atlantic?
You might know that better than I do.
Just for the team, I
I
mean.
don't know the exact number.
Okay,
There's
Okay.
a good few of us.
Yeah.
good chunk. But that makes sense. I would figure they would, break it up and stuff like that, and then you just
Yeah.
sign up and go to tournaments.
Right.
Okay, that makes sense. That makes sense. So I still don't get what makes like the archer tick to want to do the competition. I love bow hunting, but I wouldn't.
See, and he's been doing it since he was a kid. For me, it was I've always been into sports. I missed
Right.
the competitiveness. And when I was working at the shop, like I said, somebody came in. One of my friends said, "Hey, we're going to a Worlds qualifier. Let's go." I'm like, "All right," and I absolutely loved it.
I've always just been that mentality. I go back and I'm like, all right, I hit it, I'm good. Like, and then the part of what made me want to get more, I'd say, involved and just get better was having some bad kills on deer. And I was like, all right, man. Like I had a spine, another I had a gut shot, and both deer did not die quick, and I felt guilty about it. I'm like, all right, maybe I got to work on my game here, and I never had any issues out back, but then, I was talking to Craig on the podcast about how, like, switch from field tips to broadheads, and I'm like blowing everything up, and I was like, all right, I got to get better at this. You know what I mean? So then I started talking to Craig. He looked at my bow, and the rest is history. The rest is history. So you juggle all this, plus you're going to school. Are you going to, like, be like a archery guy? Like, is that going to be like a career thing for you?
Yeah, I'd like.
You going to be Craig's competition?
Yeah,
Teach me all your stuff so I can steal it.
I'll just keep making his strings.
Yeah.
yeah. I'd like someday maybe try going shooting in the pro division someday here.
Also, there's even a whole blown like pro division
yeah.
too.
Yeah.
How's that work? Do you like try out,
So you gotta.
win something?
I'm not sure how that works yet, but you gotta like some organizations, like I think in the NFAA, you gotta win a certain amount of whatever, and then they get your pro card.
Yeah, and then you have to pay your yearly due for the pro card.
Yeah.
But there's actually a lot of money to be paid. Made
Yeah,
in
it's
pro
a lot of
cards.
money.
I mean, there's guys winning $20,000 a shoot in the pro class.
Yeah, in Vegas the prize this year was 54,000, I think.
Yeah,
Get after it, man.
Yeah.
Jeez,
that's for one shoot.
one shoot. I'm doing the wrong thing.
Yeah.
All right, you gotta get me a PSE bow. Starting tomorrow. So you won this IBO Worlds in 2017. Run me through that. Like how
So there's 3 legs of the IBO. Each are a national championship, and you can qualify at the legs, and they also have IBO qualifiers throughout the states and stuff. But the main 3 legs, you'll shoot all 3 legs, and that puts you in for the national championships. Whoever has the highest score out of all 3 of the legs will win the national championship.
Oh really?
Yeah.
Do they put like is there any like thing where they like combine the legs then and it's like it's like a shootout?
Yeah,
kinda?
there is the national champion that in every single class will shoot off against each other, And in 2018, I did win the I won the national championship, and I also won shooting off against everyone.
That's awesome.
Yeah, he
Yeah.
beat a semi-pro to do it.
Yeah, it was just down to me in the semi-pro, and I hit a little bit better of a shot and won.
You know what's crazy to me is I think about like,
I do want to throw out there quick too. He was using my release when he won that.
Oh yeah. I left my whole release pouch at home that weekend. I forgot my release.
what kind of release do you use?
I'm shooting the B3 coupe for target archery.
B3 coupe?
Mm-hmm.
Back tension release.
Yeah, that's a whole nother thing with me.
And then I'm using the B3 Ranger for
B3
hunting.
Ranger for hunting.
Yep. They're both back tension releases.
So Craig was trying to tell me, and I struggle with this whole back tension thing, so maybe you can help me out with it. I feel like Craig explained it pretty good, but I'm dumb, so. Every time I try to do back tension, I was even doing it at Craig's house, I just can't get it because I always start like doing a flex thing because I went to school for kinesiology. Somehow I was supposed to be a physical therapist, and that just never happened. But I always think of just like when, they're like, oh, back tension. So I'm starting to flex the back. I'm doing this. So naturally, I'm pulling away. And it was happening at his house. So I'm sitting there trying to do back tension, pull away, because I feel like maybe my drawstring is too long. You seem to think it's fine. But for some reason, whatever, I feel like when I have to pull to get it to release with back tension, I have to do this sleight of a motion. So, like, can you help me with that? What do you do? Describe back tension to me in your own words. You know what I mean?
So basically, when you have your elbow up, you want to rotate. You can feel it in your back when you're rotating.
So you're literally just taking this shoulder and pulling it back.
Yeah, well, you can feel it in your back there, and you just want to keep rotating that back on like a 45-degree angle down.
Uh-huh.
And it'll just rotate on the hinge, and it'll just pop off.
Oh, so you actually use a hinge.
Yeah, I use a hinge release.
Okay.
Which is same thing, back tension.
Yeah, right. And that's what you brought. You brought a hinge and a thumb.
Yep, I had them both here, yep.
Okay. Now, do you use the hinge when you competition versus the thumb?
Yeah, the hinge is what I use when I'm shooting competition.
Okay. I might have to try that sometime.
Yeah.
Just see how.
I have a couple of safeties that you can try.
Yeah, even that thing I keep trying to do with my little neck goose, whatever. I just can't get it, man. I can't get it.
Yeah, your bow arm just needs. You can't move your bow arm.
Yeah.
Just the back arm.
I know. And I can't do it.
Oh, yeah.
I'm like, come on, do it. Nope. And this one's like, nope. So that's kind of crazy. And then you went out to Vegas the very next year in 2018, right?
Yep.
You said that, and then you broke 2 national records.
Well, that was actually in Mechanicsburg.
Okay.
In 2018 at the.
What were the 2 records? Was it score or
scored in the field round for the field and hunter? I shot a national record in the field and a national record in the hunter, and then I tied the national record for the animal round, paper animal targets.
Now, is that just your age group, or is that everybody?
That's age group.
Okay, that's still pretty.
Yeah,
that's really cool that you're breaking records. You know what I mean? I mean,
Yeah.
that's pretty. You're 16, man. I mean,
Yep.
I was using my grandpa's bow when I was 16. You're fully sponsored and breaking records at 16. That's pretty impressive, man. So you did that, and then so there was something in Vegas, right?
Yeah, in 2018 I placed second out in Vegas.
Out in Vegas.
Yep.
How would that, does like PSE cover the whole trip, or like you
At that time, no.
Okay.
They don't really. They'll just help me out with bows
and equipment and all that
Yeah.
stuff. Okay.
Yep.
So you get out to Vegas, and where at in Vegas was it?
South Point Hotel.
South Point
The
Hotel.
whole archery shoot's held right in there.
So how do you not get nervous for shoots and stuff?
Well, I am nervous out there.
You are?
Oh yeah.
So
That's
like,
probably the place I get the most nervous.
Really?
There's so many people, and it's the biggest shoot in the world. So.
But what's crazy is you're performing under pressure.
Yeah, you just gotta try not to think about it. Just shoot.
Just try not to think about it.
Just like you're in practice.
Yeah, I couldn't do that. That was part of the reason I actually had to stop. When I used to fight. I used to do cage fighting. That whole spell was about that. I just couldn't do it because I couldn't get over the crowd.
Oh yeah.
I just couldn't get over the crowd.
Yeah,
So
it's tough.
Yeah, it's very tough. So that's what I mean. Like, that's just something where you're swinging. You know,
Yeah.
when you're doing something that's dialed in, like a bow, you got to focus on your breathing. You're focused on what your elbow's doing, what your wrist is doing, what your forearm's doing, what your front arm's doing, your back tension. You know what I mean? And that kind of makes sense why shooting so many arrows makes
Yeah,
such a difference.
Yeah, after that, I kind of struggled a lot with the pressure.
Really?
Because that was just like, I never been like all the way up top before, and it's just like after that, then it's like pressure to do it again.
They're gunning for you.
So the next year I did struggle a little bit, but this year I felt like I was prepared. I actually got help from a professional archer, Christy Collins. She helped me out a lot this year, and then I get out there the first day. I wake up to shoot, and I was like, I felt really sick.
You were just
Yeah,
like,
I was.
"Whoa."
Yeah, I was really sick out there.
What do you think about when you're shooting? Do you have like something to distract yourself with?
I just think about making a good shot. Just
That's it.
don't worry about where it lands. Just make a good shot each arrow.
I always just try to think of the crowd's naked. I was like, okay, that makes sense. Like, yep. But so that, how are you meeting these like pro people to give you like tips and advice? Is like you just meeting them, you coming in contact, they're hearing about you.
You just meet them just shooting. You just meet
meeting
them
shooting.
And then actually Christy, she lives like really close by, and she shoots at York and Adams Fish and Game, and she actually used to be the president. She just backed out of it now, but that's how I knew Christy from
Oh, okay. Okay.
shooting there.
She's not a is she a tech? Christy, is she a bow tech? Like does she work on bows?
Well, she works down at Bowhunter Superstore, but she works on their marketing.
Oh, okay.
I mean, she can work on bows. She knows what she's doing.
There was a lady who used to work in Gander Mountain in York when that was still open.
Oh no, that was
and she
the
was
redhead.
Yeah.
What is her name? I forget her name, but I know who you're talking
And
about.
she knew a lot about bows.
Yeah.
Well, I thought she did. I mean, it doesn't take much to know more than me about bows.
She knows enough.
Yeah, when she was talking to me, I'm like,
Yeah.
It's like when I was talking to you, I'm like, Craig, I don't know what you're talking about, man. You're gonna have to show me.
She knew more than anybody else at that store.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. When I bought my first bow there, I got sold a bunch of stuff. I'm like, yeah, sure.
Yeah.
Whatever. They're like, this is the best. I'm like, okay.
That's when I worked at the archery shop. We could always tell when somebody had a bow set up a gander and then brought it to us.
Oh yeah, I was that guy. I was that guy for sure. I'm still that guy. Like, give me the most expensive thing in the store. I'll take it. And they're like, it's still a piece of junk. Crap.
Yeah.
Now I just got to get PSE because you guys are all like, dude, these are awesome.
Yeah.
And then I pulled his back and I'm like, mine really is a turd. So you're doing this. You got into this, and you obviously how many bows do you got?
I have 3 set up for tournaments and 1 for hunting.
So you got just as many as you.
No, I have,
Well,
more,
you
I have
know,
more than he does.
Nobody has more bows than you.
I have 1 specifically set up for indoor, 1 for outdoor with my skinny arrows for outdoor target and field and hunter, and I have 1 set up for just 3D.
Just for 3D.
Yep.
So a different bow for something every different time.
That way you don't have to be constantly changing stuff.
Are you
'Cause that
using
gets-
like crazy weight setups like he does with the big old bar out the front and out the back?
Yeah, I have a good bit. Yeah, I have the big bars, but
He actually runs longer bars than I do
yeah.
because he's taller than I am.
Still. That's a-
Yeah, my back bar is 15 inches. My front bar is 33 on all my bows.
Are you shooting dead centers?
Yep, dead center.
No, I should have seen that. Should have seen the hat.
Yeah, he's also sponsored by Dead Center. Yeah.
Okay. Okay. Yeah, he handed me his the white bow,
Mhm.
and I was like, oh man,
You get used to it over time.
I guess.
Shooting a lot.
It's all those muscles I don't use anymore.
Yeah.
But heavy is steady, like you say.
Yep.
So he talked about like, how do you do anything special to try to stay?
So I'll shoot, and if I feel like I'm moving one way, I'll move my bar out wherever it feels like that. It just sits there. That's where I have it.
That's
I
just it.
just keep playing with the bar, put a couple weights on.
Just kind of get it to this way or the other way?
Yep. To where it sits that it just sits there for me. I can control it.
So do you just have like steady hands?
Not really.
Because I shake like a mother. And I was talking to Craig. I'm like, dude, and was you panic shooting? Basically, I get over the target. When I get over the target, man, I let it rip.
Yeah,
I'm like,
target
yep,
panic.
it's on it. As soon as I hit the dot, I'm like, yep.
Yep.
And on that, whatever, it's like lay the chips fall where they may. You know what I mean? Like,
I used to be the same way.
yeah. So how did you get
Everywhere.
past it? What's your strategy to go
Switching to
overcome
back tension.
back tension?
Back tension, blank bail. You just got to get the rhythm down.
Yeah.
And then you just kind of another way to do it. Just draw back and just hold on a little dot and just hold on it and just not shoot. Eventually, you can when you draw back, you'll be able to hold on that dot and work through back tension. And
then
that's
just
how it
keep
kind
it
of
there.
worked for me. Yeah.
So you're not like floating around like crazy. You can get it like pretty still.
No, you just got floated into the center.
Float
If
into
you
the center.
float a lot, just look at the center and it'll go there. The more you concentrate on that center, it's just your
So
pin
just-
is just going to go there.
Just stare at it.
Yep.
Just
pretty
stare at the
much.
center. Now I got a question for you. Since we all know Craig doesn't really hunt. Just kidding.
I hunt, just not very well.
Do a lot of the things you're doing in competition translate over to in the woods?
It helps me
Does
in the
it?
woods a lot. Shoot a deer. Like,
Because I always see people and I'm like, do you do that in the woods? Come on. But you know what I mean. You're not taking the big honking bar out there or
Oh,
this
no.
that, and the other. So
Yeah.
it's changing.
Some people actually do.
You did
I
tell
mean,
me that before, and I'm
you
like,
could, but that'd be a little tough.
yeah, it'd be real tough. You better have a real high tree stand and nothing around you. But so everything else in like what kind of length bar are you using on the bow setup?
I have a 10
hunting.
inch
10
on the
inch.
front and an 8 inch on the back.
Do you compensate for like a lot of extra weight to keep you the same feel, right?
I try to. Now my hunting bow is a lot lighter and I can't hold it as good as my target bow, but I try to get it to where it can be light and it holds good for me. So I have a little bit of weight on, but not too much.
Really?
Because I do have the carbon bow and it's way too light to shoot with no weight. So I have to put,
yeah.
for me, I have to put some weight on it.
I let him hold mine the other day, and he couldn't believe it.
Yeah.
The thing I like about it though, and obviously I have an aluminum bow, is when you're walking through the woods and it's cold,
Oh yeah,
it sucks holding that thing.
yeah.
You know, like, all right, I'll just like sit on the stand there and wait till something comes by, and then I'll like sneak my hand in there and grab it, and it's like icicle. You know what I mean? I hate it. But you know, I could see that carbon just be like,
Yeah, that
So
don't
nice.
get real cold at all.
no, nothing. I
It's
mean,
nice.
I can't buy. I just can't put the money to like.
Yeah.
Maybe if I was sponsored like you and get them for like next to nothing, I'd be like, all right, let's do this. But no, full price. This guy, not happening, not happening. You get into like recurve or like longbow or anything?
Yeah, I actually just bought a recurve, and I kind of want to shoot a deer with it.
Yeah.
So I've been shooting that a little bit. After I kill my buck, I'm thinking about trying to kill a doe with a recurve this year.
Just to see if you can.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, it sounds like you probably won't have any problem with that for how many deer. How many deer did you get last year?
14.
14.
But I don't know. I'm not too good at that recurve. It's not like a compound.
Yeah, day and night.
I'm a little all over the place.
Now I always forget, is the recurve the one that still has the wheels?
No wheels.
No wheels. So like the difference between a recurve and a longbow is just the size, right?
So the recurve, the limbs will curl in like this, and a longbow, it just kind of like
Stays.
yeah.
Is a recurve easier to pull back than a longbow?
I don't know. I never shot a longbow before, really.
Yeah, I never shot neither.
I'm not sure.
I just always like. Also, how tall are you?
6 foot.
6 foot. So like, there's a certain number with that, right? Like you shoot at like a 58 or like a 62.
I have a 45-pound recurve.
Is that how it goes? Is like, because I'll see him at like like yard sales, or like, you go to like a market where they got like a hodgepodge of crap out, and you'll see like an old recurve bow, and I'm like, ooh. And I like pick it up, and I'm like, I don't know anything about this. And I see a number on it, and it's like number 38, and I'm like, is that the length?
That's probably the draw weight. So
Yeah.
at 28 inches, my recurve is 45 pounds, and each extra inch you put on it, it gains I think 3 pounds. So I'm
Oh,
a 31 inch draw, so my bows are like around 51 pounds,
Okay.
54 pounds,
okay.
in between there.
51 pounds, 54 pounds, and then obviously you add, but does that weight rating, would it make it longer? In my theory head is like, okay, if you want it to have more weight, it's got to be longer.
Well, they make different lengths at every weight.
Oh, really?
Yeah. So you have to pick your length and your weight.
Okay, now that makes sense, because I was like thinking like
Yep.
One style, one thing.
Tip-
You want more, you want longer. You know,
right.
it's got to be
Typically
longer.
a taller
Well,
guy, and depending on what you're doing with it, you're going to want a longer bow.
I got
Yeah.
you. I got you. That makes perfect sense. That makes perfect sense. So, like, that Triple Crown in 2018 and 19, what's the Triple Crown?
That was what I was talking about earlier, the 3 national legs. And then the
okay.
world championship comes after them.
Okay. So,
Which
is the world like, because that was kind of how, like, powerlifting was with, like, worlds. How does that get grouped up again? Like, is it age and then.
yeah, same. It would be the same age classes throughout the legs, and it would be same in the worlds too. And you got to qualify at an IBO qualifier or at one of the national legs of the IBO.
So, when you qualify, is it the same 3 shoots? You got to qualify on all 3?
No, you can just shoot one and still qualify, but to get the national championship, you got to shoot all 3.
You got to shoot all 3 to qualify. Okay. And then you got the second at Vegas. I mean, you're beefing up a pretty good record in
Yeah.
2017. Not very long, man. That's pretty good.
Yeah.
You're just
2018.
crushing it.
Yeah, 2018, I had a really good shoot at Worlds. I was doing really well, and the last target, I don't know what happened, but on my rest,
Your blade bent on that one.
no, it wasn't my blade. It was whatever held my drop away rest from the cable that held
Yeah.
my drop away rest. It slipped. It kicked my rest blade up, and I almost missed the last target, and that's what cost me the Worlds championship because I would have been in the lead by a lot, but.
So it sucked that happened.
Yeah.
Now, I was fortunate enough. I was down there that year shooting as well, and I think it was 6:00 that morning. My phone rings. It's his dad. Hey, Brady's in the shoot off today, and his rest is not working.
Oh, man.
So I threw my clothes on real quick. We ran to the practice range. We thought we had it fixed, and then he went out for the shoot off.
It was out of tune.
Yep.
It knocked it out of tune. It wasn't at the same spot.
Yep.
That
It wasn't
sucks.
shooting. And that's why I don't shoot a drop away rest anymore, just for hunting. I shoot all blade rest.
Okay.
I just in case something happened. The blade's so reliable.
Do you shoot the same drop away he does?
No, I don't think you do.
I use a QAD drop away for hunting.
Okay. That's
That was
what
a
I use.
Hamsky drop away I was using. There's nothing wrong with the Hamsky
You use
drop
Hamsky,
away.
right?
You're right. There's nothing wrong with the Hamsky.
Yeah, there's nothing wrong with them. It's just I just
Bow debate.
who knows? I might have bumped on a rock or something.
Yeah, no, I get that. So you had a Hamsky, now you're using the QAD.
Yeah, I use QAD for hunting.
Okay.
That's the American flag one I have at the house. That's
Yeah.
a QAD.
Right. That's what I got on my bow.
Yeah.
You use how about arrows? He uses the same arrows as you?
Yeah, pretty much.
Black
same as
Eagle
you.
arrows.
Black Eagle arrows.
He uses slightly different ones for different things, though, I think, on some things.
Yeah.
Like, he hunts, actually, with those skinny arrows that I use for field and hunter.
Do you use expandables?
Yeah, I shoot Grim Reaper broadheads.
Do you ever have any issues? And I don't know how you walk, if you walk in with like a arrow knocked or like, I always get them stuck on stuff. And then next thing I know, I look down, I'm like, oh, it's like dangling out of the stupid thing. And like,
Yeah.
obviously you can't shoot if one's hanging, and then you got to like take it off and put the little rubber washer back in and then screw it back on. And
Well, there's just a collar on my broadheads, and then that's all I need. There's no washer or anything.
well, isn't the collar like a little rubber band though? Like at
no,
the
it's just
bottom?
a little metal collar.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
So, Grim Reaper is designed a little different than other
Yeah, I
mechanicals.
use the Rage ones, and they suck.
They do, yeah.
Yeah, I'm not a fan of them.
They'll put a hell of a hole in the deer. Don't get me wrong, but
Yeah,
right.
If you hit them good.
yeah, that's the other thing. But then on top of that, I'd always have the little stupid things fall out, and I was like, screw it. And then I went to those G3s or whatever they are.
Yeah, I never had luck with the Rage shock collars.
No.
I never had any luck with them. The Grim Reaper, they're actually more of a tension system. Like, you don't have that collar on there. It's the tension one.
After you like blow through a deer, they actually close back up.
Really?
So it's like spring loaded. So when it hits, it just opens, and
Booms.
as soon as it's done, it closes.
It closes.
So that-
so as long as tension's on the front, it'll expand, and as soon as
Yeah.
the tension's off, it goes back.
Yeah, I did hit a bad shot on a deer. Got shot in and found the deer. I don't even think I ever lost but one deer with them broadheads
Really?
for like 4 years now.
Huh.
So this was the first year I shot Grim Reaper, and it was because him and his dad told me about him. And that buck I shot this year, I got down and I picked up the arrow, and it was closed.
Oh yeah,
And I texted his dad and said, "I'm going to kill you. This
didn't work.
blade never opened." He
Didn't
said,
work.
that's what
He
we
said, "I
thought.
promised you it did."
That's what when we had the same thing when we actually got one of my dad's friends, or he actually used to have archery shop, Alpha Archery, but he closed up a few years ago. He actually recommended we use these broadheads.
Yeah.
And we shot a deer, and we thought it never opened. It was actually a buck I shot when I was 11, I think. But it opened because the hole in the deer, was
massive.
Like, you could stick your whole fist through it.
Wow.
It was like just crazy.
Wow. I see. I shot. It was actually I ran out of broadheads because I only usually buy like 3 at a time, and they always like screw themselves off or like get stuck on something, and it's like, oh, I get to my stand and it's like, oh, Mr. Broadhead, I gotta switch out the arrow, and then needless to say, I'd shot a buck last year. Oh, this was 2 years ago, and then I kept having these doe out back when we first moved in. I was like, the very last stand, I was like, why not? You know what I mean? So I actually opened up the door and popped one from the window, and all I had was a Rage broadhead. Flew like crap, and the washer like was all jacked up too. Is like that little stupid thing, that rubber thing, and it put it put a nice hole in the deer, but it screwed up a lot of meat where I hit it. I was like,
Yeah.
And I throw like it sucked too because I wound up hitting it like in the back, like the lower like hind quarter back, because like when it jumped, by the time the arrow made it and hit, it was by the backside of the bite. It was not a big deer by any means, so it dropped it though, and then had to put another arrow in it, but it sucked because it killed a lot of the meat where I hit it. It was a bad shot. But, yeah, I was like, all right, I'm throwing these away. I wound up tossing them.
Yeah.
Sucked because, like, they're not cheap.
Yeah, that's the other thing. Rates are expensive.
They're very expensive.
Yeah.
And they're very, I can see if you got a crossbow, and then you don't have much dangling on it. But,
right.
Yeah, the Grim Reaper thing, I have heard of those, but I didn't know that they expanded like that and then contracted.
Yeah, I use 4-blade, and I think they're called the Carney 4s.
Okay. See, that makes sense why I would make a bigger hole, too, because the Rage is only 3.
Yeah.
So that sounds like a pretty good deal. I might have to check into that because that doesn't sound as bad as, like... Because even what I'm using, they get stuck on stuff and it unspins them.
Yeah, I don't have a problem with mine unspinning. I just twist them on pretty tight and they'll never come off.
I've even talked about putting Loctite on them because I was like tired of them falling off, but that would screw everything up, wouldn't it? There's no point.
Yeah.
That's a
trying to
no-no.
get them out, that might be a little difficult.
Yeah.
True.
Probably rip the insert out.
Yeah. Well, we know I do a lot of other things wrong too, so
It's all good.
Yeah, I'd be like, as long as it's within 10 yards, dude, it'd be all right.
That's another arrow.
All right.
They make more every day.
Yeah, I got to get with you on some of those eagles, man.
Yeah.
I've been shooting those reds, and they're expensive. Those Carbon Express reds, like, phew,
Yep.
phew. And then of course I'm getting them at Field and Stream, so I'm getting extra robbed. You know what I mean? So when you hunt though, do you mess with a lot of like windage? Do you buy into that? I don't say buy into windage. I shouldn't say that. Like scent cover up and stuff like that.
Yeah, I use Evercalm scent.
Evercalm.
Yeah, I put that on my boots. I don't get winded too often ever since I started using that.
Really?
Yeah, it actually works pretty well, I think.
But you just do that on your boots? Do you
on my boots, and we spray down with...
I'm going to write down Evercalm.
Essence of Fall, I think it's called.
Essence of Fall.
And I don't get winded much. I still play the wind for the stands where I'm set up, but I got winded, I think, like once last year that I knew of.
Yeah. I was hunting out back, and my dad, I got 3 different stands, and my dad was in the upper stand, and I was in the lower stand, and a buck was walking right in, and I was good because it was like a weird downward crosswind, so that the deer was above where the wind would have hit him. But I saw him, like he came out on this stone road, and he just put his nose up like that, and I knew he smelled my dad, and then he just started beelining right the other way, and I was like, shit. But he was like walking right into my shot path, and I was like all ready for it. And I always get like stuck between a rock and a hard place because sometimes I see the best deer. Like the day I shot that buck, I had nothing on, no cover up.
Oh yeah,
I
just
didn't
the right wind.
Yeah, just the right wind. So like, I'll take the powder with me and poof up a little bit of powder if I can't really feel the wind, just to see. There's always a draft, you know what I mean, to see where it's going. But you know, I don't use a climber or anything, and I don't use a saddle. He actually just introduced me to the saddle thing. What are you using on that?
Well, at our lease, I'll use hang on or ladder stands, whatever we got there, and we'll set up. But if I'm hunting public land, I'll use climber.
Climber.
Yeah, that's last year was actually the first time I actually hunted really public land and actually used a climber.
Yeah, I just don't feel like safe in one, man.
I got a Summit climber, and I feel pretty safe in that. It's pretty solid once you get up there.
I got a Summit climber, and then I was like, yeah, I'll use this. And I was like, no, I won't.
Yeah.
I was like, I won't. But it's just the whole idea of climbing a tree. I'm scared of heights, too.
Yeah, I am a little bit, but I
Um,
can get up there in a climber
Yeah,
a good bit.
I should try it. It was the whole point of buying it, but I was like, and then you got to pick out the trees. But
Yeah.
I have so many ladder stands where I go, so I don't even really mess with it. But at the same time, kind of like you said, you get winded. But yeah, I feel like every time I figure out the problem with public land is every time I think I know what's going to happen, it's going to happen. I get
Don't
proven
go-
wrong every
yeah,
single
don't go
time.
that way.
No, it never goes that way. Do you hunt public land much around? Like you
Well,
said, first year with the
so-
climber, where are you going at?
We hunt down in Maryland, and it was actually my dad always hunt there a lot when he was younger and stuff. But so we actually picked a spot out and climbed up in a climber. First day, I shot. I don't know, it was about 30 minutes. Just got daylight, and nice 6-point walk by, and I shot him.
Just took it.
First time ever hunting public land. First time ever in a climber. It was kind of lucky there.
You're spoiled,
But it was
man. You're spoiled.
Yeah, it was
He's dipped in it.
This guy's winning all these competitions. First day out, 6-point. Oh, I got it. Like I'm struggling my butt off over here. Like, all right, I can't hit the broadside of a barn.
and it's funny too. I was sitting there on my phone. I don't know. I think I was texting my uncle or something. I look up and there's a doe standing there. I grabbed my bow, shoot her too. Got both of them.
That's a great thing about Maryland, man. They're like, yeah, take as many deer as you want. We don't
Yep.
care.
Yeah.
PA, they're like, whoa. You took one? You're not allowed to hunt the rest of the day. You
Yeah.
got to go home. Did you know that PA has like 5 times the per capita hunters? We sell more
Yeah,
licenses.
I've seen that. We sell a
Yeah.
lot of license.
Yeah.
There's like 3 million hunters or something in Pennsylvania.
Yeah.
Compared to Ohio, it doesn't even have 1 million.
See, I wasn't lying to you.
Yep, I know.
It's a boatload more than any other state.
That's kind of why you won't see as many big buck around probably.
Exactly. I mean, I
It's a
go
lot
up.
more.
I go up north to meet with some customers, and they shoot monsters up there, man. But I mean, there's a lot more private land.
Yeah.
They're all hunting farms. The people they know with acreage. You know, I went out with a guy on like his like Rhino or one of those 4x4 little side by sides. We go through this one field. There's like 3 monsters. Like the smallest one there was a 10-point. I'm just like, thing looks like it was hitting the gym. It was all buffed up. I'm like, oh my god. You come around here, you're like, the deer look like they haven't eaten in weeks.
Yeah.
And then you got chronic waste disease happening and stuff like that. And they just look, the deer around here just look kind of, even the ones I have in my backyard, sometimes I'm just like,
Yeah. If you don't have a lot of private land, it's
tough.
Yeah, it's really
It's
really
tough. And especially like we go up to the Michaud State Forest. I don't know if you ever hunt up there, but whew, it is rough.
Yeah.
It is
I'm
rough.
sure.
A lot of guys that I talk to, like the serious hunters, they're like, I don't even hunt PA anymore. They're like, I'll buy Ohio, I'll buy Maryland, I'll buy New York, I'll buy Virginia. I'll hunt anywhere but PA. And they live in PA because they're like, this is a waste of time.
Yeah, I'm just fortunate. My uncle Marty Miller, he owns Miller Real Estate in Gettysburg. He got us the lease about 10 years ago, 102 acres, and we're just fortunate to have that.
Yeah.
We normally see a good many deer in there.
I mean, they're around. Don't get me wrong.
Yeah,
you
they're
just
around.
you just got to have the right land to do it.
Yeah.
And that's definitely a blessing. Is like if you got that private spot, but like if you were trying to beat up a public game land, I mean, the deer are there. Don't get me wrong, but they're smart. They're not
Yeah,
coming out till nighttime.
Yeah, they're gonna be staying in the thick stuff.
Oh yeah, and I'll even hunt the thick stuff, but
It's tough.
still the chances, and
Yeah.
you're talking about very little shooting lanes and stuff like that. So it's just it'll beat you up. But
Yeah, and public land, you can't really. If you figure out their bedding area, there's always someone gonna be walking by it.
yeah, and
It's just
it changes too.
yeah, they'll push them out and they'll move.
Well, and that's the thing too. Like you get it figured out, kind of like in the fall. and then it changes again in the as food changes, with the wintertime.
Yeah, they'll
And then
go acorns, whatever,
Right.
wherever they can find that.
But it'll change again in the spring.
Mhm.
Like I just even see it how I see deer out back here. Like they'll be there during this season, and I won't see them for the longest time. I know they're still there, but just
Yeah.
food sources and what's happening at the time, I see them a lot more now because everything's green. But when it gets a little more scarce in the fall, I just see less deer. But I'll see a lot around in the rut for sure.
Yeah.
But it's just kind of crazy how that all plays out, how they change their patterning sometimes, depending on the land though too. If you're obviously hunting something private and you got a cornfield, they're always going to be at the cornfield.
Yeah, they'll be out there.
That's never going to change. Like, it's kind of like a go-to. You see, obviously, so you just saw some turkey and you called him in for your brother. You see a lot of turkey there too at that private spot?
We have a lot of turkey. It's just, for some reason in the spring, I don't know where they go. They just like to move. They'll be there one day, next day you won't hear a thing.
That's why I was trying to tell Craig. I was like, dude, you just got to keep pounding the pavement. And then my rule of thumb is, like, if I don't hear one day, and I know they're in the area, I'll say this. If I don't hear them day one, and I'll go again day two, and I don't hear them, like, you sure better hunt day three. Because the way they cycle and come back.
They'll be back.
They'll be back.
They always come back around.
Yeah, yeah. We at least got to see a hen
Mm-hmm.
on day one. But it's unfortunate because I had to get logging done, so I'm pretty sure that busted the game up a lot, but we haven't heard a turkey since.
Last week, my PSE rep, Austin Ashcraft, and we went up to our lease and we were hunting. I think we hunted Tuesday, we didn't hear a bird up there. And then we hunted. And then Wednesday, I think we went up there and we didn't hear nothing down in the blind, so we moved up to the field, set up there. And he just calling, just a couple yelps, and just went crazy. 5 gobblers came in within 15 minutes, for all longbeards. And I had my bow, and I didn't have a shotgun. So 2 of them got around to me, started coming to the decoys, and there's 3 to the left of me, and I couldn't. It was tough to draw, and they I guess they saw me, and they started turning around. I drew back, but it was too late. But
see, this is the stuff when you and I are sitting in the blind not hearing anything. This is the stuff I'm getting texted. I'm like, seriously?
Yeah, it was tough with 5 of them to really draw your bow back.
Yeah, I've never had the balls to take the bow out and try to get one with the bow, just because I'm like, I know how easy it is to get busted by turkeys, man.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, just when I think they're gone and like a bug flies in my ear and I'm like, and then they go, bop, 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 and I'm like, shit, no. And I'm like, I get so mad. So I'm like, I can't imagine. I mean, obviously, if the bird's pressured versus not, maybe that'll change a little bit. And if you got a good tree that you can sort of be behind or something, or you're in a good cover, but just going and popping and with a leaf suit and taking a bow with you, I'm just like, I can't even envision it. Like how you would have the time to pull back, and I just can't see it. I can't see it.
I was hoping for like 1 or 2, not 5. It was just
it
was cool, all them coming.
Too many eyes.
It was just too much.
Too many eyes.
If I had a shotgun, he would have been dead. But
yeah,
it's about they're about only 30 yards, all of them.
5 long bears came in.
It was pretty crazy. That was the best day of
sorry,
turkey
Craig.
hunting ever.
I'm sorry, Craig.
I wanted to cry when I got that text.
Wait, these guys wear the hex armor suits, right?
Yes.
Is that who you're telling me about? You feel like that whole...
Actually, on my brother's turkey that I called in that he missed last Saturday, so the plan wasn't for me to shoot him with the bow, and then he was there just in case something would happen, something go wrong. But I called this turkey all the way up from the creek bottom all the way up to the blind, and it gets there beside us, and it's looking at the decoy, and I don't know why I won't go to the decoy, just strutting to the right of us. And we're all set up looking out the front.
Right.
So we figure it's going to come to the decoy, and look over there, and there's a deer standing right next to the decoy. So we both had the hex suits on. My brother actually got whole way turned around to the right and actually got a shot off, and somehow got away with that much movement with that gobbler standing there.
With the hex suit on.
Yeah, with the hex suit.
And I hear stories like that about those hex suits, and I'm like, do they really work? And I always I hate to try to buy one just to find out they don't. So like the more stories I hear like that, I'm like, it eggs me a little bit further each and every time to be like, maybe I'll get a hex suit. Maybe I'll get a
Mm-hmm.
hex suit. Maybe I'll get a hex suit.
I think they really work because normally you can't get away with that. That's
No,
tough.
no, not at
But
all,
he
man.
got the whole way turned around in the other window, got the gun out there, and got a shot off at it.
I was
Didn't even see us.
I was in a blind, the blind that the hunters couldn't see us in, and got busted in the blind last year. And these birds, they were just putzing around off to my left, just gobbling. And I finally was like, all right, I shut down. I'm like, I'll make them come in.
Mhm.
And I let it be quiet for like an hour. And then all of a sudden, out of nowhere, I'm like, oh, I'll call. And I was like, bup, 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 bup. And then boom, boom. It was two of them, thunder, thunder. And I was like, oh, they're coming. And then they just kind of kept coming, and I kept getting them gobble. And then I just shut down when they were within like 50 yards. And I'm thinking, the way I'm set up, I'm like, I got this figured out. They're going to come right off this little plane here, blah, blah, blah. No, they circled behind me. And they're like behind my blind, like within 20 yards for sure. And just sitting there gobbling. And I got the whole thing like, it's not a blind that has like the mesh screen. This is how old the blind is. It's just like, it's pretty even stupid because the inside of the blind is like white.
Oh, yeah.
So it's not like black. So you can see everything plain as day. Yeah, your dad's laughing. He knows what I'm talking about. You zip the window open. It's like this, flap. And like, I wasn't even sitting in a nice pivot like hunting chair or anything like that. And I wasn't on the ground. I'm in a lawn chair. Terrible idea. But I was like, they're going to come right in front of me. I can feel it. I'm comfortable. We'll be good. Nope. And I just like, I had to see what it was. Like, I just wanted to know how big it was. And all I did was turn my head and go peek out the corner, and they took off. Just that little bit of movement, me going like, and they were gone. So I was like, to turn your whole body like that, especially with 5 of them, I mean, I got busted so quick. And I've been in a full-blown leaf suit and gotten busted real quick. So just a hex armor suit and even that turn, that says a lot to me, really, with turkey. So yeah, it's kind of crazy. How many birds have you gotten in your turkey hunting
I've
career?
shot 3 gobblers, and I shot 3 hens during fall turkey hunting.
Okay. Do you call all the birds in?
No, my last gobbler shot, I actually peeked out in the field, and it was just standing there. I blasted him, running away. I kind of just got lucky there.
Well, the day I shot him, he shut down towards the end of the season. He was catching on to what I was doing. So that whole last week, he wasn't responding to calls. I actually called him in to the backyard because I was working from my desk, and he just sounded off out of nowhere at like 1 o'clock. And I'm like, oh, I can't help but mess with turkeys when I hear them. I'm like, I'm going to call back and just see if I can call it in. You know what I mean? Because you never know. It might be a different bird, et cetera, et cetera. And I've been going after this stupid guy. And he came into the backyard, and I was like, I called my buddy's dad, and it wasn't legal hours. I was like, you think I should shoot him? You think I shoot him? What do you think? What would you do? I was like, I went up, letting him go. But I felt like this pit in my stomach. I was like, I'm never going to see him again. Because I went out religiously after that. Like, I'm going to get him. The day I'm out there, I was actually in my blind with my laptop working, and I'm like, this is stupid. I didn't hear nothing. And next thing I know, out of the corner of my eye, I see this little hen. And I'm like, oh, I'm sitting there on my computer. And next thing I know, out of the corner of my eye, I just see something big. And I look up, and he's strutting right in the middle of the road in front of me, like 40 yards out. And I was like, and then I put the computer down, and I grab my gun. And then the hen comes around the blind, and he just sprints down the road chasing after. And I was like, boom. It wasn't gratifying because I didn't get to call it in, but it was like, that bird been messing with me. I was like, I was so determined. But that's just how it is. Sometimes you just, what do they say? Every blind something gets something.
Every blind squirrel finds a nut.
There you go. Every blind squirrel gets a nut. But yeah, sometimes it's luck, sometimes it's skill.
Yeah, actually that day I did call that bird in, and we didn't have a decoy out, and I got him to 50 yards. And my dad was like, wait, it'll get closer. But it actually turned around, since it didn't see nothing down through the strip of woods we were in, didn't see anything, so it turned around and left.
I always feel that debate too with a decoy or not a decoy because of that reason. But then I've seen kind of what you were saying with the gobbler. If they see that decoy in the distance, sometimes they'll stay distant and wait for the hen to come, and then that thing doesn't move, and they're like, well, screw her, and then leave, you know? So it's like, I go back to that same thing. Just when I think I got to figure it out, the turkeys make me look stupid. And I'm like, I shouldn't have done that. And then you're always second guessing yourself, like going to state game lands and having 2 hunters walk in on you. It's frustrating, man. It's frustrating. So what else am I missing on this with competitive archery, man? I mean, we covered a lot. It was a broad stroke of the brush, but I mean, you're doing a lot in a short amount of time. It sounds like you're in this for the long haul, and you know, you're gonna kind of take it as it comes. But what are you gonna like? What's your career ambitions? You think you're gonna go to college? I mean, you're kind of young to make that decision. Don't feel pressured.
Yeah.
People pressured me, and it's all bad. But what are your thoughts on that?
Yeah, I think I'm gonna just keep on shooting, and then my dad has a landscape business. He does part time now. I think I'm gonna take that over and do it full time then.
There you go.
And keep on shooting. I can probably balance that out, shoot and work.
Yeah, definitely.
I can get my stuff done when I want if it's my own business.
Yeah, you kind of be your own boss, and you're
Yeah.
like, all right, I'm going to work today. I'm not going to do this. I'm going to go shoot, blah, blah, blah.
Yeah.
He thinks all that until he gets married and has kids, and says the guy with no kids. But, I get what you're saying, man. I'm have had the ambitions along the way, too, but it's good that you got something, you know, hold on to that thing and, you know, stick with it, get real good at it. Well, I don't have to say that. You're already good at it, so don't get worse at it.
Yeah. I also like to just kind of start filming hunts a lot, start working my way into that.
Yeah, it's something I want to get into myself, but it's kind of tough.
Yeah, it's tough.
You'll take all your crap with you, and then you don't hear any turkeys. You're like, oh, that was stupid. I'm big into turkey hunting. That's like my favorite thing, mostly because I feel like I see more turkey and less people turkey hunt in Pennsylvania. Yeah. Everybody deer hunts. Oh, yeah. So, and as of right now, I don't have the means to go to another state because, not that I couldn't, but I'm not doing it with other people who have a spot or go to somewhere or like go in with people to get a lease together. So it's just kind of like I'm a lone soldier. I'm not going to go get a hotel and be like, I'm going to go stay in Ohio and go dick around on state game lands and hope I see something. You know what I mean? And then what I do when I do get something, like, well, I'll hang it in the parking lot and let it bleed out. And then, you know what I mean? So that makes it kind of difficult. But we should get together sometime and film a hunt. That'd be kind of cool.
Yeah, that would be cool.
I got plenty of cameras.
Yeah, got my lease, and you can always go there.
Yeah, that'd be neat. We'll definitely have to do this again because the second time around you'll be more comfortable and you'll be more fluid. But this at least gets you some exposure to it. You know what I mean? Yep. I struggle with that a lot as a kid. So like when I was a shy kid. I'm still technically a pretty shy person. You probably wouldn't think that, but because I don't ever shut up. But I actually first started waiting tables. Like I started as a cook, like right when I got my license, and then like I started like waiting tables, and I was like, man, I get the shakes real bad when I'm nervous. So that's why I can't believe how you do archery when you're nervous, and crowds still make me nervous. Like if I had to do something like that, and kind of had to face that to get better. I actually came up with a trick holding my breath. I'd hold my breath because I'd have to like take a martini to a table, and I got like shaky hands. So like I'd be spilling it all over the place, be all running down my arm by the time I get to them. So I'd like do this thing where I'd hold my breath for 10 seconds, and then while I pick it up, hope nobody got in front of me because I'm holding my breath all the way to the table before I put it down. And I had to interact with people then, and then somehow I transitioned where now what I do for a living is talk to people. You know what I mean? Because I'm a sales account guy, so it's like, you know, that's all my thing is interaction. And at your age, I would have never thought I would do that. You know what I mean? I was like, that's not my personality. It's not my thing. And now I can't imagine myself doing anything else. You know what I mean? So it's just kind of crazy. That exposure to it, though, you know, I encourage you to just get out there, especially if you've got a skill like you have. Don't be afraid. Take those. That's another thing. We didn't talk about your belts. What the hell? Oh, yeah. Why didn't you bring up the belts, man? He's just like dying to be done. He's like, are we done yet? Are we done yet? Let's talk about these belts.
It's okay. He wasn't getting out of I was getting ready to bring him up when we were.
I was like, oh yeah, well, I've been staring at the boxes too. Like, what's in the boxes? I know what's in the boxes.
Yep.
Bust them out, man. Let's see these
I don't know
belts.
which one's which. All right, well, this one here.
Tell us about this guy.
So that's the 2017 World Championship belt that I won there.
This is the
Worlds.
IBO.
Yep.
Do you know why they give you a belt?
It's one of those, just like rodeo, you win belt buckles.
No, I get it,
Yeah.
but it was like archery. Like,
Well, I mean, everybody wears a belt.
good point. Good point. Good point.
Plus,
Hold your quiver.
yeah.
There you go.
Yep.
I didn't think of that. I didn't think of that.
You'll see a lot of the guys, especially pros and stuff, when they wear quivers, they're using actual belts with buckles
with the buckles like this. So do you put this all on like all your get up when you go? Or you
I just set on my stand with all my other stuff.
They look good on a mantle too.
Okay, yeah, there you go. I'd put it on a mantle. I'm gonna take a picture of this and throw it in there for everybody to see. So this is one you got the IBO.
Yep.
That's pretty neat, man. Let's see
This
the other
one-
ones.
So these are. This one's from the best of the best for when we shot off against all the national championship, all the national champions. It's the one I won.
This is the Triple Crown.
No, that's the best of the best. That's the one where he beat the semi-pro to win that.
So, back up.
Mhm.
How do you become a semi-pro?
Sign up for that class.
It's
Oh,
class.
okay.
So the way IBO is classed, there's several different classes. Like the first year I shot IBO, I shot BBO class, which is beginner bow hunter open.
Okay.
Our max yardage was 45 yards.
Okay.
Or, I'm sorry, 40 yards. Now I've moved up to MBO, which is money bow hunter open, with a max of 45 yards. And then I think semi-pro is also 50 yards, just like pro, correct?
Yeah,
But they don't have the payouts. That pro does.
They have a good payout, but it's not like the pro payout.
Right.
Do they pay you out with being a minor?
Yeah, they'll pay me out for worlds.
Really?
Yep. Not the
So you
legs,
got your
but
own
the
job.
worlds.
You're just like, this is a
Yep.
job.
So with that, I actually won $1,000 for the best of the best. The champion
cool.
of the best of the best wins $1,000.
I think it's fancy.
This is
So this is
actually
best of the
this
best.
was last year's. This is actually a new. I guess I got a new company make them. Nice boxes.
Montana. Yeah, it does look nice box.
Yeah, and they got some nicer belt buckles now.
Says the 1314. What's the YMR?
That's my class.
That's your
Youth
class?
Male Release. It stands for.
Gotcha.
I moved up this year.
Gotcha. Okay. That's pretty neat, dude. Montana.
Yep.
There's one more. I'm missing it.
Nope, that was all four.
I think that was it.
Really? I feel like I only touched 3. See, I'm losing my
This
mind.
one here is that's 2018.
Yeah, okay. I didn't look at this one. That's pretty neat, man. So you've never worn them.
Nope. And they just sit on. Like, probably a little dusty.
So you said your table. What do you put at the table?
Well, I actually have it's kind of like a dresser table thing, and I got my award shelf above it. I set all my stuff on there, and then I got all my medals hanging from the award shelf and trophies up top, trophies on the bottom.
Yeah, I got you.
Not enough
Yeah.
room for all his trophies.
No, I actually took all my plaques and just hung them up on the wall finally.
How many trophies you got?
I got like 7 trophies, but I
7,
got like
not including buckles.
I got like 17 plaques, probably about 30 medals.
What do you do with them all? Just
They just sit there.
I got to a point where I like had a bunch of trophies for the martial arts stuff, and I like threw them all away.
Yeah.
I was like, yeah, what am I gonna do with these?
Yeah, I got a bunch from the Great American Outdoor Show from the shooting there.
Yeah.
Have you ever seen that?
Yeah.
Yeah. I used to shoot it, but now it interferes with Vegas.
Oh, okay.
So the day of the finals, I'm actually leaving for Vegas.
Do you-
We're actually shooting in Vegas.
With you being like a like the pro staff thing, do you have to do any shows as like
Yeah,
a rep?
I'm at the Great American Outdoor Show normally 2 days, and I'll help up at the booth, and I'll go down and shoot.
Do you have to do anything else for like other shows, or is that like kind of like the
No,
one?
not really. That's just the one.
That's pretty cool though. I mean, that's a big show.
Yeah, at the Lancaster Classic Archery Tournament, it just depends on how many people there. Sometimes they have a lot of people helping out.
Yeah, there have been times where we had too many people in the
Yeah,
booth.
too many. So sometimes I
Yeah.
just stay out.
Yeah, you just kind of look at it like, what do you want me to
Yeah.
do?
Yeah.
No, I get that.
So Great American Outdoor Show, that's actually it's kind of where I got started with the IBO. I got recommended by Gary there. He told me about shooting the IBO because I did really well there on the 3D tournaments, and that's how I got shooting the IBO.
Okay. But it all came from that.
It all started right there at the Great American Outdoor Show.
Interesting.
And I think first year, I was 8 years old. I think my first shooting, it was 8 years old, the 12-year-old class, and I somehow got third. I wasn't too great of a shot, but got
worked.
third, barely.
So then from there you went
And
to that.
then from there I started practicing a lot more, and that's when I started going
so
up,
that
getting
third
better.
that third place win was what kind of fired the whole thing. And
Yeah,
you're like,
yeah,
all right, I
pretty
like
much.
this.
And then next year I took first, I think.
At
Yep. First
different
place.
age group then, obviously? Or wait, you said
Same
you
age
started at
group.
8. Okay,
and I
same
was
age
9, and in the 8 to 12-year-old, I think it was.
group. Okay.
And then the next year I got third. But I think what happened there, I can't remember. This was like 5-6 years ago. But I think what happened was I was shooting, and my arrow was like broken. I didn't realize it. It was like cracked or something. When went to pull it out of target, it just snapped, and it wasn't flying right.
Yeah.
So that kind of cost me a little bit. But
you
I got third that year. And then my last year I shot, I think I got first.
Now, when we talk about how good he is, I just want to point out, with a broken arrow, he took third place.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm just saying.
Yeah, I couldn't figure out what was going on. I thought it was me, but
Is it-
really wasn't.
well, I mean, do you shoot like multiple arrows this thing, or is it like same arrow or like
One there, you'll shoot one in each 3D target.
so
So-
either way it's gonna screw you. I get that.
Well,
yeah.
so what a lot of archers do is, like, when I'm shooting 3D, I have my one arrow that's shooting really good. That's my front arrow. That's the arrow I pull out. Now, if something had happened to that, I moved to one of my other arrows. But typically, I mean, you'll shoot one of the same 1 or 2 arrows through an entire 3D course.
Yeah, I'll mark my arrows and which one I think flies the best and hits the best for me. That's the one I'll keep using. And I'll have backups then.
Yep.
Whichever one's just hit the best for me, that's the one I use. Until it gets broke or something, or I feel like it don't fly right. It's probably just me, but
When you're on a 3D course, if you're looking at your archers, you'll see if they're wearing quiver, they have one arrow by itself in the front of the quiver, or in their stool, they have one arrow in the front tube.
That's
I
the
single
golden
an arrow
the
out.
golden arrow.
yeah.
See, that doesn't make me feel so crazy when I tell you now that I got the turkey call of the day and I don't know which one it's going to be.
Yep.
But that makes sense. I mean, that's kind of cool. I would have never even known that. So you basically started busting out of there and then just kept rolling with it from there until like
Yeah, that was probably one of my best shooting arrows, and something might have happened. It might have got hit. Someone might have hit it when we were shooting, but I don't know what happened to the thing. It just got stuck in the target, I pulled out and just snapped.
So did you have to keep like you weren't sponsored then, right? Or you weren't
No,
really
I
going
wasn't.
for anything like that?
No,
You were
I
just,
was just shooting really.
but you were still shooting PSE?
Yeah, I was shooting PSE. I think I was shooting a PSE Phenom. I don't remember. It's been a while.
And then keep going with this story because you're giving me good information here. Like,
So
what
then I
was next? What was next?
So I shot that.
I actually want to know.
know. Shot that every year, and then my last year shooting, when I got first, that's when I started shooting the IBO. And then I couldn't shoot the Great American Outdoor Show because then I started going to Vegas, and it interfered with Vegas.
Okay.
So then I started shooting the IBO, and then my first year shooting the IBO is when I won the World Championship. I started off the first leg of that year, my first year. I didn't do so good, kind of just my first shoot. And I think my sight came loose that shoot too, or something like
Right.
that. And then it kind of, I fixed it, and I was just kind of upset about that, and then threw my score down.
Yeah, I can see
And then next shoot I took third, and then
that was in Vegas again?
no, this is an IBO.
IBO, okay.
So then
Sorry, you're throwing a lot of acronyms out there. I can't keep up. I'm like, IBO, Vegas. Wait, we're here. We're there.
This is an IBO. So the second leg I took third, and then the third leg I won first place, and then that's the year I won Worlds after that third leg. And then I just kept shooting the legs after that. And I'll be shooting them this year too, as long as we get to go to them.
Yeah, that's pretty neat. So then, and you're just gonna keep rolling with it, man.
Yep. IBO, that I love shooting 3D. It excites me a lot more than targets.
Yeah, I did. I was telling Craig I did like one. It's just like a party that comes together. People do this like 3D shoot. I lost all my arrows. I took like 5 arrows. I lost all of them. My bow was way out of tune. And I was like, thank God it wasn't anything official because I would embarrass the hell out of myself. But yeah, I was like, oh man.
Yep.
It was the lights that I was telling you about. But yeah, that was pretty sad.
Yeah.
So is that like talk. You kind of tell me about like you want to do like a hunting show thing. Like, what kind of makes you want to do that? Just like
I don't know, just love hunting and figured I can make that into
make it into something, right?
YouTube. Start out with a YouTube channel, maybe thinking about next year, and then just try to get film.
Yeah, yeah. It's fun to do. I mean, that's what I do this, like I said, just kind of as a hobby. And I wanted to sort of always segue into the hunting piece though, but it's tough, like I said, to just get,
Yeah.
people together and blah blah and then all the equipment and stuff. But yeah, I got all of it. If you want to give it a shot sometime, let me know.
All right.
But and I can help you with like I use like a free editing software, and then I can show you how to clip it up and put it all together so you can make different.
Yeah, I'm bad with the editing stuff. I really don't know what I'm doing at all.
Yeah,
So that'd be something I have to work on.
I put a lot into Craig's, like as far as like doing a lot of tweaking that I normally wouldn't do, just because I wanted to experiment with new stuff.
Yeah.
Every time I do a podcast, I try to add something or do something a little bit different. Plus, he had a lot of stuff with process that I kind of wanted to get the footage of too, and just throw all that stuff in there. That took a boatload of time. But like something with a hunt where you're not doing multiple angles, you're really just cutting and pasting and slicing stuff up. It'd be pretty easy for you to do.
Yeah.
The biggest thing would be just like make sure you had a good mic to get the good sound quality is the biggest. That's the hardest thing to achieve, which blows my mind. Even the quality that I come out with, and I know what I've invested in my equipment and how much time I spend in like the post trying to tweak audio stuff. And you see some of these like the guys that are doing it for real, and you're like, phew, man. Their audio sounds great,
Yeah.
but you won't really notice this until you like start messing with it, how hard it is to get that great of an audio. And I got some decent equipment, but it's still it's tough. It's tough. So that'd be my one thing to tell you. But start light before you go diving right in, because you'll get a lot of money wrapped up into it before you know.
Yeah.
And then you'll be like, oh, well, it's too late to back out now.
Yeah.
But yeah, I can help you out with that, man. I can definitely help you out with that. We'll trade archery for video stuff.
All right.
I'm trading hunting with archery stuff with Craig. So, but yeah, we'll have to get together on this sometime for sure. But I feel like we covered a lot.
Mm-hmm.
So I mean, I guess we'll end this thing. But we should we'll have to do this again sometime.
Yeah, absolutely.
Especially now that I got you like lighten up at the end here. Like I'm like, man, see, you're just a natural at it now.
Yeah.
You got those nervous jitters out. Craig was the same way. I was like, all right, I just had to talk him up.
And then once you got me talking, I couldn't shut up.
Yeah. It took you like about a half hour.
Yeah.
And yeah, my buddy's dad's a talker, and I had him on, and I could actually physically see him when I was editing the like stuff shaking. Like I could see him shaking sitting here, and I'm like, he's not that kind of, he's very like outgoing kind of guy, and I would have never guessed it. But when I saw it, so I like, I'll chop it up to a point where you'll never know. But some of that stuff at the beginning where you were opening up there, I'll throw that at the beginning. So it's all tricks.
Yeah.
But
No, he did really good tonight.
nah, yeah, you did fine, man.
Yeah.
You did fine. That's why I say keep doing it.
The more I do, the better.
Exactly. Even when I first started doing it, it was awkward. I'm like sitting there, like looking at myself, like you're an idiot. Why are you doing this? Like, my wife still thinks I'm weird. That's why she hides upstairs when I do this. She's like, I'm like, you want to come down? She's like, nope. But you're on. You doing like a website or anything like that? Are you on the PSE website?
I need to start a website.
Yeah.
I want to start a website sometime.
Get some. You got to get some of that social media stuff. Depending what you want to do with it. If you just want to be like, I'm just going to do my little thing here and not try to expand. But, biggest thing is like, the social media stuff, getting your name out there. So I like a real pushing the Craig. I'm like, man, you got to get this thing, get your name out there. And just those types of things. And again, it all depends what you want to do with it.
Yeah,
but
I'd like to expand, which I really do need to start getting a website together.
Yeah.
That's one thing I've been thinking about.
And I have a website. Mine's pretty basic because I'm not selling anything like Craig's. He kind of needs a little bit of leg up, especially with options and stuff like that. But I have a buddy who's an entrepreneurial guy, and he's always starting something new. And you know, he even pays for like a media outlet to do his stuff. Now, obviously, you don't want to go that extreme, but at least start experimenting with it. With like, you know, obviously you're using Instagram, right? You know,
Yeah,
stuff like
Instagram.
that. But networking is huge, man. Meet people, you know, get names. I keep people's cards and just roll like that. The more people you know, the better. And I've only been in Dillsburg a year, and I'm meeting so many people. I met Craig because my wife cleans his teeth.
Yep.
I met John of Whitetails Down because he sold me my house, and now I'm meeting you through Craig. You know, so like
Yeah.
I'm always trying to, you know, network myself, and part of the reason I do this is because I want to support local people. You know, I find a guy like Craig, you know, Craig's my bow guy for life. You know, until he pisses me off, and no, I'm just kidding. But you know, and then like a guy like John sold my house. I'm like, I'd probably never go to another real estate agent again. You know what I mean? So it's like,
Yeah.
and I like to really help the small business guy if it's like you know, a hunter startup guy. Like, and John doing his things, just trying to do a hunt show kind of thing too. I want to get Rodney in here too to talk about taxidermy because I can talk to that guy for hours.
Oh yeah, Rodney, he'll talk.
Yeah, dude. Anytime I go in there turkey hunting, I will talk to that guy for turkey hunting for. I've been in there 2 hours, and I've been like,
Well, yeah, we talked to him a lot too.
yeah, he'll keep going. I'm like, I said, dude, I gotta go, man. Like, my wife's probably thought I died.
Yeah.
You know, I was like, I'm gonna pick up my turkey. I'll be back. And 3 hours later, where you been? Like, talking to Rodney. She's like,
Mine's learned anytime I'm doing anything archery or outdoors related, just don't even expect me back in a certain time.
yeah, exactly. And the thing is, too, the guy always forgets who I am. He's like, I know he recognizes my face.
Right.
And I'm bad with names, too, so I never hold against. I forgot his name. I'm like,
Yeah.
Randy. Nope, Rodney. But yeah, I've always wanted to be like, I should talk to him about it. But then I was like, nah, you know, kind of push it off to the side. But next time I'm in there, I'm going to ask him about it. So,
Yeah.
but yeah, he's a good dude. But that's kind of why I do this. It's just kind of like
Yep.
get people's names out there, get them talking, and for myself to network because I like to meet people, and it opens opportunities all over the place. So crank on that and keep working on it, and I'll help you out with the camera deal.
Yep. That'd
So
be great.
yeah, and then we'll get together and do this again sometime, and we'll think of more stuff to talk about.
Yeah. We can probably talk about a lot more hunting stuff too.
Oh man, listen, we
There's
could
a
have
lot
done.
of hunting stories.
I wanted to just kind of focus on like archery, you know what I mean? And unfortunately, like I beat that to death with you a lot, and then I just wanted to talk about competition shooting stuff. And unfortunately, like I don't know much about it, you know what I mean? And like the more I'm kind of getting educated on it, you know,
And
what
that's
I mean?
why I said last time he can actually answer a lot more of your competitive questions than I can because I'm fairly new to it.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, I get it. So like, and I'm just kind of dipping my toe in the sand with this whole archery thing. And I say that and I've been doing it 5 years, but you know, anybody walks out in the woods like they do. And we talked about it when we were up in the woods. Like, I'm a hunter. How much you hunt? First day. That was it, and you never do it again.
Yep.
Not knocking those people who do it. You know, you don't have time. This, that, and the other. You got a business to run or something like that. Don't get me wrong. I've even cut back a lot myself this year just because busy with the house. You know, work is now at the same time with my schedule. I kind of get to sneak out and do like weekdays. You
Yep.
know,
Yeah.
I've hunted like 7 times already turkey, and I'll only hunt till 9 or 10. But then I gotta, you know, backed up on work. I gotta work the rest of the day, which, you know, if you do the landscaping deal, you'll figure that out quick. You're like,
Yeah.
and the thing is too, you're sitting there in the blind the whole time, not seeing anything. You're like, I need to be doing this. I need to be doing that. I need to be doing this, and I'm not doing that. You're like, all right, I gotta go. I didn't see nothing. Like, I gotta go. So it's a tough balance, but yeah, man. Now I'm just rambling. All right, Brandon. Brady. Jesus. All right, I'm going to edit that part out. All right, Brady. There. See, you'll never know. When you watch this, you'll be like, he said Brandon there. I know he did. See, I didn't have it on the front there. I should have kept
Had
it
it
there.
covered up.
Yeah.
Exactly. All right, man. I appreciate you coming out. Appreciate you, Pops. Craig.
Yep.
Thanks for coming with these guys.
Absolutely.
Keep them coming. You know,
Yep.
I'm always down to meet people and do this. And again, we'll do it again and talk hunting for sure.
Yeah.
Because I could talk turkey hunting and bow hunting for hours.
Yeah, I got a lot of deer stories.
You killed more deer than I've had my family combined. So yeah, you better have some stories, man.
Yeah.
Jeez.
Yeah.
All right, guys. I appreciate you joining us, and we'll be back soon. And just like that, it's over.
That wasn't
Yep.
so bad.
Nah, see.
Now you did good.